Can I leave?
Wonderful.
I'm just gonna
Yeah, I think so. Honestly,
Oh,
at this point, I think everyone should leave. Tell me
because
more.
if I would have never gone to that show and been mesmerized and just been captivated,
Yeah.
and then left with such a desire to want to you, I would have never went on here and told everybody how.
Have you ever stumbled across a moment so raw, so unscripted, and so unexpectedly romantic that you had to pause, rewind, and wonder, did that really just happen? That was exactly the case when Travis Kelce, NFL star tight end and part-time podcast host, found himself on the mic confessing how mesmerized he was by Taylor Swift. Yes, that Taylor Swift. It was one of those rare glimpses into a real-life rom-com unfolding in real time, and honestly, the rest of us didn't stand a chance. We were all hooked. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. The internet lit up like a stadium on game day, not just because of what was said, but because of what it revealed. A tough-as-nails athlete turned into a starry-eyed fanboy, a brother quick with a witty jab, and a global pop icon who somehow feels both unreachable and completely relatable. The story has everything. Humor, vulnerability, sibling banter, and the kind of romance that makes you believe in fate. But beneath the viral soundbite lies something deeper. What does it mean to say yes to the moment? And what can we learn from the way Travis Kelce is leaning fully into his relationship with Taylor Swift? Grab your seat, preferably not in the nosebleeds, because this isn't just about football, music, or celebrity gossip. This is about taking risks, chasing connection, and realizing that sometimes the most unforgettable plays in life don't happen on the field or the stage, but in the quiet, messy, beautiful space where vulnerability meets courage. Every story worth telling has a beginning, and this one kicked off not in some Hollywood script, but in the simplest way possible, through curiosity. Travis Kelce, already known for his charisma on and off the field, decided to attend Taylor Swift's Eras tour. And like millions of fans across the globe, he didn't just watch a concert. He was captivated. He later admitted on his New Heights podcast with his brother Jason Kelsey that the show left him so awestruck, he couldn't resist sharing how he felt. The tight end who usually spends Sundays running routes and dodging defenders found himself fumbling with words about how Taylor had completely blown him away. And in that vulnerability, something clicked not just for him, but for all of us watching. Because here's the truth, we've all had that moment. Maybe not in front of millions of podcast listeners, but that instant where someone stops you in your tracks and you just know your world might never be the same again. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What if Travis had brushed it off? What if he had laughed at himself and decided not to risk looking foolish? Would we even be talking about this today? So, the question we're left with, how many opportunities in our own lives have we let slip by because we didn't dare to say something? Of course, no good love story comes without a little comic relief, and that's where Jason Kelsey, Travis's brother and co-host, comes in. Just when Travis was bearing his soul about being engulfed in curiosity about Taylor, Jason swooped in with a perfectly timed jab. You didn't even know what engulf meant before you met Taylor. Classic brother move. And honestly, it made the moment even more special. Jason's interruption grounded the conversation. It reminded us that while Travis was caught up in the whirlwind of his emotions, he's still just a guy with a brother who won't let him take himself too seriously. And isn't that the most relatable thing ever? No matter how big the stage, family has a way of keeping us humble. But the banter also raised another point. Sometimes, even when we're caught up in a wave of emotions, life throws in a reality check. A reminder not to lose ourselves completely, but to embrace the humor and imperfection that comes with vulnerability. And isn't that what makes the story so magnetic? Travis wasn't delivering a polished speech. He was stumbling, laughing, getting interrupted, and still pushing through to say how much Taylor meant to him. That rawness is what makes the moment unforgettable. Here's where things take a turn from celebrity gossip to life lesson. Travis Kelce has been clear about one thing. He's saying yes to every moment with Taylor Swift. Not just the glamorous ones, but the simple, genuine ones too. Think about that for a second. How often do we get stuck overthinking instead of just leaning into joy? How many times do we second-guess ourselves out of moments that could have changed our lives? Travis didn't let fear stop him. He didn't care if he sounded corny, if people laughed, or if his brother poked fun at him. He was present. He was grateful. He was willing to look a little silly in the name of something real. And that's the takeaway for all of us. Life doesn't reward the people who play it safe all the time. It rewards the ones who take the shot, who make the ask, who show up fully even when it's messy. What's even more fascinating is the contrast Travis drew between Taylor on stage and Taylor in private. On stage, she's a force of nature, a powerhouse who can command an entire stadium. But in private, he said, being with her felt like talking to someone he'd known forever. That duality is powerful. It's the reminder that behind every big persona, every curated Instagram feed, every larger-than-life presence, there's a real person who just wants to connect. We often put people on pedestals, whether they're celebrities, crushes, or even colleagues we admire. But when you strip it all away, we're all looking for the same thing: real, easy, meaningful conversations that knock our socks off. Should I leave? And then came the line that set the internet ablaze. Should I leave? Yeah, I think so. Honestly, at this point, I think everyone should leave. It was playful, it was awkward, it was the kind of moment that makes you squirm and smile at the same time. Jason, once again, cut through the romantic tension with humor. And suddenly, we weren't just listening to a podcast, we were watching a love story unfold, narrated by two brothers, with all the clumsy charm of a rom-com. But beyond the laughs, there's a question for all of us. When's the last time you let yourself be so open, so unfiltered, that someone else might jokingly tell you to leave because your vulnerability was just too much? So, what do we actually learn from all this? More than you'd think. Don't be afraid to be awestruck. Whether it's a concert, a conversation, or a person who takes your breath away, let yourself feel it fully. Lean into vulnerability. The moments we remember most are the ones where we dropped the mask and said what we really felt. Laugh along the way. Humor doesn't ruin vulnerability. It makes it more real. Say yes more often. Joy doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from saying yes, even if you look a little silly. See the person, not the pedestal. Everyone, no matter how famous or accomplished, is human. Connection comes from authenticity, not perfection. This wasn't just Travis Kelce gushing about Taylor Swift on a podcast. It was a reminder of what it looks like when someone refuses to let fear get in the way of connection. It was a moment of vulnerability wrapped in humor, brotherly teasing, and pure honesty. And here's the truth. You don't need to be an NFL star or a global pop sensation to have a moment like this. Your own Eras tour might be a conversation at a coffee shop, a chance encounter on a train, or an opportunity you've been too nervous to chase. So the next time you find yourself wondering, should I leave? Maybe the answer isn't to walk away. Maybe it's to stay, lean in, and say yes. To the moment, to the connection, to the possibility that your life could change in ways you never imagined. Because if Travis Kelce has taught us anything here, it's that the best stories happen when we stop overthinking and start saying yes. What's one moment you've said yes to that completely changed your life, or one you wish you had? Share your story. You never know who might be captivated by your words.